It doesn't matter if you are a mechanic, an HVAC, plumbing, electrical, everybody has their white whale of tools. Something that they want or they've needed for a very long time. You just weren't close enough to reach out and grab it. My white whale was a jointer, a nice jointer, something that I was able to step up, put it up in the shop, and get some quality woodworking done. I looked at all of them, and a lot of the half-decent jointers out there were probably $1,000 or more. But then I came across this one. Yeah, that's right, my dude and dudettes. This is the RIDGID jointer. I have really wanted this for a long time, but it finally went on sale. I was even amazed that I could find it on sale. Half the time they don't even carry these things. They're always out of stock, and then they make more, and then they go back in stock. But it went down to $5.99, usually $6.99. I said, listen, I'm gonna grab this thing. I'm gonna find out what it can do and maybe what it can't do, some of the negatives, the positives, and bring it to the channel. And that's what we are doing today. So that is what we're gonna do, my dudes and dudettes. We are going to take a look at probably the best joiner for the money out on the market today. Now, before we start going over all this, I just want to touch base real quick about assembly, putting this thing together. This thing is pretty damn heavy. It came in a box and I had to put it together myself. I was hoping to have a friend to help me, but unfortunately, this is what happened when I called my friends. Hi, friend?
Yes.
Yeah, I was wondering if...
Who is this, DRZ? I'm sorry, but you got the wrong number. Oh, this is
Hey,
me.
buddy. Yeah, just curious, could you...
Yo, this is DRZ, cuz. 99% don't know I'm busy, cuz.
My dude.
What?
So you're going to be able to come over...
Why are you calling me? I don't even like you. Yo, you again, cuz.
All right, listen, man. I will literally pay you to come over.
Listen, cuz, 99% don't know I'm hanging out with the very cool gang. Oh! Oh!
So apparently I have no friends. So I did it myself. Was it a pain? Yeah, it was a little bit heavy, but all in all, it took me about an hour and a half, 2 hours to get this thing fully assembled. Everything came in the box. It was ready to go right out of the box, and it really wasn't that bad. With any joiner, you want this thing to be pretty mobile. I took a couple 2x4s before I even used this, threw them together with some screws, threw some heavy-duty casters up underneath. I'm able to move this thing around the shop, and I can lock it down when I go to use it. All right, so let's take a look at this real quick. 6 1/8 inch jointer, 1 horsepower, 3,450 RPM. Now, the induction motor operates at 120 volts or 240 volts, depending on what you want to do. We got this plugged right into a 110 outlet, so it's been running fine. I got a 20 amp breaker and haven't had any issues with it. You got a dual bevel fence, which stops at 45 degree, 90 degree, and 135 degree. It's also belt driven, very smooth, and it is fan cooled. Now you got a rabbiting ledge for precise rabbets up to 1/2 inch deep. So you can adjust it right here. All you have to do is pull out on this and then use your lever, which is very smooth, by the way, to go all the way down to 1/2 inch, all the way down to 0, and anywhere in between. Now, one of the biggest questions that I always had about this jointer was the outfeed table. Could you adjust it? Yes, absolutely, you can. There's your knob right here, so you adjust left or right, depending on which way you want to raise this or lower it. And yeah, you can absolutely hone that thing in, the outfeed table, if you want on this jointer. I wanted to point that out. I had a hard time trying to find that information for myself before I bought it. Safety first, you can always adjust this here. It'll have more tension, so if you put this thing together and this thing doesn't close on you, you adjust it by just removing this and then bringing this nut counterclockwise, and then check it out. Yeah, absolutely, that works great. All the adjustments, super simple to make. Right here, you can loosen this up, loosen this up. You can move that forward if you want. If you got some smaller pieces of stock or wood, you want a different bevel here, yep, you can do that as well. Once you find your bevel and your position, you just tighten these down like so. Really heavy duty, both the handles and the knobs. All of this casted metal, I'll tell you what, this thing here, the top right here, it is super heavy duty. When I lifted that thing out of the box, holy crap, I'm telling you, this is probably 75 pounds itself. It's just crazy, crazy built well. They even give you a little handle for convenience right here, so if I wanted to use this and adjust my bevel, well, I'm able to do that as well. Planing, jointing, beveling, doesn't matter. It can all be done by this machine. And you also got a positive stop back here that if you don't want this to go too far, well, you can adjust this up. And now you don't have to worry about this thing moving on you because you got that positive stop. Check that out. Another nice thing about this is that because it's so heavy duty and it's easy to adjust, if I want to square that up, I can see that I need to go a little bit more. Right there, I'm perfectly square. I'm going to bring that down and tighten that on the lever. And now I am able to run my wood. Now that said, if you want different angles, they even give you this right here, this little tool that goes together. You can use it for the different angles. There's your 30 degree, you got a 22.5, you got a 67.5, a 90 degree. You just rest that up against the fence and then tighten it down once you find your angle. And then you can just store it right down here like so. You also got 2 paddles that they give you. These are actually really nice. Got that rubber on the bottom here. It's a little bit softer. It's going to allow you to push that wood through. And it's a nice construction, a plastic rubbery feel up on top here. And you just throw them in like that. You're good to go. All right, enough of the chitting and the chatting. I got some 2x4s here. And anybody knows that if you want some 2x4s, they're nasty, they're ugly, maybe you're making a shop workbench or, I don't know, some type of piece of furniture, a bench or, a chair or whatever. Anytime you go to the Deeps or anywhere else they get this stuff, it's not milled, it's nasty, it's rounded out on the edges, and it's just not going to look good for your project. Now, you can buy what's called select pine, or you can go to your lumber mill, and if you want walnut, cherry, or harder woods or whatever, they'll mill it for you. But if you're a serious woodworker, this is the way to do it. You buy this wood a lot cheaper and do it yourself. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to plane the top, and then we're going to join the sides. And then what we can do is run it through our planer, and because we have a perfectly planed bottom or top, we can run it through the other side and get a perfectly smooth and level surface on the other side. But check this out. I want you to hear this before I run anything through. So it's really not that loud at all. All right, so here's what we got. We got the 2x4, and then what we're going to do is we're going to push this through here. I'm taking a 1/16 of an inch off. I can go an 1/8 of an inch if I wanted to, but let's do a 1/16 of an inch and see what happens. All right, so you could already see that there were some high and low areas on this. We're gonna run that through one more time, but already starting to feel really good. Those knives are very sharp. The RPM on there, it just takes off so smooth.
So smooth.
And then what we're going to do is do the one side. We're going to join this side right here, just run it through, and let's run one more pass through, and then we'll do the side. Looky. That is real nice like. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna run the top. We're gonna do the same thing on the other piece of 2x4. I'm gonna show you how well these things join up together after I'm done. Let's do 1/8 of an inch this time. It is absolutely effortless to push this thing through. It's really quite amazing. All right, now we're gonna do the exact same thing with our other piece of 2x4. We're gonna plane this, and then we're gonna do the edge. And now we're gonna run our end. So I definitely seem to have a bit of a mess on my hands, but what's cool about this is you can actually hook up your dust collection system right here with your hose. I would suggest though, if you're not running a hose, I don't have one hooked up yet, I will, some type of vacuum or dust collection system. I would keep this door open because what's going to happen is it's going to start building up here and then building up through. Pretty simple to clean out if you had to, but I'm just saying, leave the door open until you get some type of dust extraction system. However, I do want to let you know, those jointed edges are real nice. They are basically perfect. And what I could do now is run the edge that we did not joint through the table saw and then run them both through the thickness planer, and those will give us perfectly cut and jointed boards for whatever you are working on. What a great freaking job this thing did. Now, with all the positives that this machine has to offer, there were 2 negatives that I found. And the first one is this right here. When I came in through the garage the day after I set this thing up, well, I noticed, is that rust? Yeah, I let this sit overnight. I did hit it with some WD-40, but it's raining outside, it's snowing outside, and I'm running a heater in here. So apparently some moisture was laying up on top of that, even though I did treat this again with a little WD-40, and this is what I seen. And that, my dudes and dudettes, is really quite frustrating and irritating, to say the least. That said, this does have a lifetime limited LSA agreement, which brings me to the second issue that I've had. You see, I went to upload all my information on the RIDGID website. You're supposed to get free parts for life, and if anything happens to it, it's covered. But every time I go to put in the serial number like they asked me, it won't accept it. So now instead of just being able to do it online like I was hoping to do, I'm gonna have to call, talk to somebody, and get it done that way. It should be a little bit easier if you ask me. That said, once I do get that set up, if this ever gives me any issue, which I doubt it will, I mean, you don't feel anything and it's just some discoloration, it'll be covered anyway. So all in all, I am super pumped and happy about this jointer. I have needed one for so long, and I did not want to spend $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 for a jointer, but I wanted something that was a lot better than, yeah, one of these damn things. I used it to abuse, slice and dice for maybe a month, and then by then it was just out of whack, and I could not stand using it anymore. Now, I just went online, and during the time of this video being shot, this is still on sale, 14% off, so $5.99. That's what I paid for it. And I'm telling you, in my opinion, this thing is worth every single penny. What you are getting for this machine, you got all metal casing around here on the stand. It's just a really good machine. And if you look at the reviews online, they are just very happy with this machine as well. RIDGID did an excellent job with this, and what a fantastic addition to the shop to have. I definitely recommend, but I want to know what you think. Have you used the RIDGID jointer before, or are you planning on buying a jointer or something like this? I want to know. Leave me a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what jointer you are using, if you like it, and what you think about this one here that we just showed you. I love hearing your feedback. If you like this video or it's helped you in any sort of way, please don't forget to smash that like button, as it's greatly appreciated. Also, if you like tools and you want to see more, don't forget to get subscribed, hit that bell notification. We upload multiple videos a week, so if you want to see them, it'd be great to have you as part of the channel. I always appreciate you stopping by, and with that, we'll be back with more videos soon.